Now, Brigadier General Robert Ofe-Saki is ready for us. He's a retired Army General. Brigadier, good morning. Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to have you. Yes.
Good morning.
Great. Now, talk to us about how recruitment into the Ghana Armed Forces has historically been and what has changed over the years to date in 2 minutes.
Generally speaking, if we want to go through the history of recruitment for the armed forces, it's a long story that I can give from colonial time, independence time, the various military regimes, civil regimes, and all that. But the purpose of this meeting, in my view, is to look at what recently happened and how it could have been averted. And then it may be of interest to also note that for the past 8 years and beyond.
Yes, General, if you could take your hand off your phone, your camera, if you could take your hand off it so that we see your face well, yes.
Right. You may realize that a lot of recruitment have taken place during the Fourth Republic. Recent ones is the last 8 years, where every year there was this massive recruitment processes and expansion of the numbers in the armed forces. I'll go straight to the point of preparation and mode of recruitment, which resulted in this national calamity of losing this 7 able-bodied females in this recruitment. First and foremost, there has always been a process of recruitment in all the stages, and then it's finally, comes to an end when the person has been taken and he has to go for training. For this purpose, now it has even been digitized to the extent that people didn't need to come and write their names and then all these rigorous up and downs and all that. The final phase, which has caused this calamity, is said that it could have been averted. It could have been averted because previous years, they were now coming in columns of services. That is Navy, Air Force, and then Army. It is unfortunate that in this particular instance, they mixed all the 3 services together and brought in, as it was being written in the newspapers, of about more than 20,000. That is about the size of spectators at Accra Sports Stadium when it had not been expanded and in its whole form. So in the first place, apart from poor, crowd control, and also indiscipline by people who have converged at a place, as to sit down quietly, like you are showing on this television. And if there's even any change of people coming from outside and so forth, causing them to stampede, I think the first blame goes to the indiscipline of the crowd. But when death comes in, that is when it calls for investigation and see what people actually did, security agencies or not. And we have example of stadium disaster, how it happened, and then the police that were being blamed actually were sent to court. So in my view, we should look at the practical approach, how it happened, and whether this method of recruitment is still what we should pursue. There are so many ways of going about it, but I won't go into the details. Once people are dead, we all console ourselves and mourn them. But there are so many mistakes that we've all committed. And then we tend to put the blame on one section of our society. So what happened at the stadium in the first place? Why congregate about 20,000 people? If it's a misjudgment, at the same time, maybe the military, I'm not defending them, did not expect that when they ask you to sit here and wait for your turn, you also forego it. In queues at the airport, if you realize, in that small space, they create bias and make you go a long route before you reach where you are going. We didn't make any kind of circular arrangement, and they were all dumped there. And as soon as they put a few sections like they are sitting there in an orderly manner, they vacated those positions. Who should tell somebody that you don't climb a wall to get access to a place which they tell you is already congested? It is part of the general indiscipline that we are all encountering and seeing on our streets in every aspect that we are doing. To even give an analogy to this situation, look at how we are all blaming the government for not being able to even clamp down on Galamsey, when the whole country at various levels, positions, political persuasions are contributing to it, from our chiefs to everybody. And then maybe you want maybe a president, Nana Akufo-Addo previously, or President Mahama to fight Galamsey alone. And then when the institutions he has put to go and fight in themselves are involved in even enhancing the Galamsey and so forth.
Yes,
it is the discipline.
Yes, you talk about poor crowd control. Yes, you talk about poor crowd control, etc., and the fact that the military may not have foreseen the indiscipline.
Crowd control.
But we know the military. We know the military as an institution of planning and proper execution, intelligence, etc. How does the military expect to have 20,000 people and over at a place and not anticipate that there will be instances of indiscipline and possible chaos for them to have planned to avert it? That's where the problem is it not?
What the problem is exactly, I'm saying that this recruitment, this type of recruitment has taken place several instances before. I remember when I was a captain in 1984, a similar incident happened at El-Wak, the same place. And this time the people didn't die. 7 of them got seriously injured.
Okay, but you keep mentioning 7. Just to be clear, we know about 6. As the number increased to 7, just to clarify, because we've always known about 6 people.
I'm talking of an incident.
The previous one, yes. Initially, you mentioned 7, yes. All right, just go ahead, yes.
Yeah, 1984.
Okay.
A similar stampede has happened before. But what I'm saying is that recently, we've changed the mode of recruitment, by doing it by services, Army, Navy, Air Force. The size of numbers that came there, that size, in my view, I can't see how they could have actually processed about 20,000 people in about 2 or 3 days. And the first instance, calling this number to the place at a time. This is where maybe we as military people did not make the right judgment. And
Okay.
such a mistake can easily be corrected. And I don't think in future or any subsequent recruitment, they are going to assemble this number of people.
I see. There's also
That is my view.
Great. There's also the talk that the military should not be made to investigate this matter. We should have some external people or civilians, who understand the process to investigate it. Because some of this in the military will investigate it and we will not hear much of it anymore. It will be as if you've been asked for them to clean up their own mess, and we will not have real accountability. What's your take on that?
In fact, this assertion is also wrong. There is nowhere in our statutes that the military, when anything happens within their domain, should not investigate by our standing procedures and so forth. Anything that infringes on the good discipline of the armed forces, it is investigated institutionally by ourselves. The government, once people are dead, has also the mandate to also institute what we may call a coroner's inquest, which allows us to know whether the death was caused negligently and by who. That channel is also there.
I see.
So we as the military, we cannot refuse or stop making our own board of inquiry, which goes to the military high command. And
Great.
the military high command, they also report to the commander-in-chief.
Very well. Just hang in there for me,
Right.
sir. Let me go around and I'll come back to you in a minute. Franklin, you've been listening. You're a very sad incident. What are your thoughts on this really, and how can we avert similar things in the future? Okay, so I don't have Franklin. Yes, Franklin just left. Fred, let me come to you. I mean, this is not good. 6 people losing their lives when they went to look for a job. What do you think went wrong with the system? How do we deal with this so we don't have this happening again?
So let me extend my condolences to the bereaved family and with the sick expedient recovery. This is unacceptable, this is avoidable, and I say every day that a society or any group of people who don't want to embrace change and don't want to be fixated on doing the old thing the same old way definitely don't get the same result. The Brigadier General is telling us that far back in 1994, 84, they experienced a similar thing. And in 2025, we are experiencing same. Then the question is, what have we done all these many years? And every day I say that, Salom, these things, they are not rocket science. Almost every country across the world, they have military, detachments, and they do recruitment and enlistment. And I don't think that Ghana enlists the highest number of security personnel across the world.
It's a job matter.
You understand? So how do they do it out there that the things that we are experiencing today, they don't experience it? Copy and paste. We can't do it. We have a country today with 16 regions, over 240-something districts. So we can't do these things at the district level. Now, we can't stagger the invitation. First of all, I have a difficulty even with asking prospective recruits to pay money for enlistment. It's not something I'm a fan of. We are all aware that the total number of people they've gotten clearance to pick are barely 4,000 people. And yet you have sold forms to close to 60,000 people. Your first screening, online screening, per the data, is that 30,000 of them failed. Yet you've taken their monies. Now 30,000, out of these 30,000, you are going to pick about 4,000, 26,000 will go out. So whichever way you apply and adopt any mechanism just to weed away the sheer numbers that we have. What would have been wrong? We have Army, we have Navy, we have Air Force. And so this week, we are going to screen those who want to join the Air Force.
The same people will go again. It's a job matter.
You see, the military is not like any other civilian body where normally we do things anyhow. The military is noted for discipline. They are noted for precision, that they'll do things in an orderly manner. And so it's not a place that the same people will go again. This day and age, technology and all that, you should be able to use technology to determine that my brother here has applied to military. The system has captured his name, his picture, and all that. I'm saying that if it's artificial intelligence today, you don't need Anyagba to come to you physically to inspect him, to do physical selection. This day and age, you can use technology.
You need to see them at some point.
Yes, at some point, but with time, you would have scaled down the number to a sizable number that you can deal with. In Accra alone, we have Accra Sports Stadium lying there. Virtually, we are not using for anything today. University of Ghana Sports Stadium is there. Tema is there. What would have been wrong?
Independence Square.
Independence Square is there.
Yeah.
You understand? What would have been wrong to say that, okay, all those of you want to do military, go to Accra Sports Stadium. Those of you want to go into Air Force, go here. Those of you are going to Navy, go here. Even then, let's break it down again. Morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 50 of you should come. We know their name, we know everything. Then from 10 a.m. to this time, this group of people should come. I was sad to hear that some of the victims have nothing to do with the exercise. How do you allow their families to come in there? The military doesn't operate like that. Because when you get to the point, they would have checked. You have a sheet you are holding. They would have checked that it is you who have applied. Your mother, your father, your uncle, your brother.
They went there earlier than they went there before the officials even came. As early as 3 a.m., 4 a.m., people started going there. And the thing happened at 6 a.m.
And I'm saying that all these things could have been avoided if they have staggered the process and decentralized the process properly and communicated same. And they had put in place that if you come there before the appointed time, that alone is enough for us to disqualify you, will not attend to you. I oppose to even asking people this number to carry their original certificates. You and I know that once you misplace your original certificate, nobody will print it, no investor will give it to you again. You have to either go for attestation or what have you. They have sent this document to you online. It is now your responsibility to contact the institutions they claim they are coming from to authenticate the veracity of the certificate they have submitted. Why are you asking them to carry the hard copies, the photocopies, and come to the place again? I think that the military as an institution need to go back and do some introspection and correct some of
Will you say the military, as we know them, this time they failed us with the process?
You see, maybe for the past 8 years, I'm not too sure if we saw any mass recruitment as we are seeing it now. People were always passing out. But as to how they were recruited and when they were recruited, we all didn't know about it. Every day we saw people wearing new uniform and coming out. I'm sure Anyagba was doing it from his office quietly. They select their boys and their girls. Some of them were 45 years and 48 years. Some of them were even breastfeeding. Before you realize, after 2 weeks, they are wearing police uniform. They are wearing immigration uniform. We saw all manner of things happening. This time you said you want to be transparent. You have published in the dailies. So right from the beginning, you are aware of the total number of people who applied. It's not as if you didn't know.
Very well.
So when the brigadier made a point that means that they were taken by surprise with the shared numbers, that cannot be true. Because they knew about the numbers before the date was fixed for this state. And so they could have put the contingency measures in place or protocols in place to avert this from happening. I am saying that we should go back to the drawing board. And then do the right thing.
So the suspension of the exercise is in order.
I perfectly agree.
And so before they come back, these measures you are suggesting,
all these measures should have been put in place. The police have announced, and the police, fire service, immigration, they are opening their portal, I think, on the 15th to start selling the form. I pray that they take a cue from what has happened. Yesterday, the minister, Honorable Mumutaka, addressed the press, and they have detailed out their modalities. The press conference held alone is not enough. We should get into the local language, get to our community radios, let the prospective applicants understand exactly what you intend to do and how they must go about it. And as I said, if we can do these things even at the district level and all that, I don't think we'll have the numbers that we have over here.
It's disappointed. I mean, has the military failed us, you know, on this particular score?
Very good. So, who has failed us? The buck stops with who? The commander-in-chief.
The commander-in-chief.
No, the commander-in-chief.
Ghana Armed Forces.
The commander-in-chief.
Who was the Kumasi, what's the name? Commissioner the Agoko project. He's the one who should be.
The buck stops with him. That's what I'm saying. Or because Kumasi is not in charge. Is that what you're saying? It's unfortunate and a very, very painful thing to have happened. I take no delight in talking about this because it's painful. These young people, including the very unfortunate 7 or 6 actually, that passed on.
All ladies.
Yes, all ladies. Must have voted for the NDC just for purpose of making a point.
What's the
I thought
connection?
you were going to stay
The
away from
connection is
this.
coming.
What's the connection? Okay.
Stop laughing. You're wearing black.
I'm wearing black, you are not wearing black. I'm mourning them.
So stop laughing.
Go ahead. Fred.
And with the hope that they'll get a job. Because that was what they promised. That was what the NDC Fred was running around in Guam saying, oh, jobs. I don't know how many is provided, because so far the record shows 0. And what you see on the screen is a demonstration of the worsening job situation under the NDC. It's bad. It's painful. I've been speaking to young
But
people.
to be fair, I mean, 10 months in office, they couldn't have created a lot of jobs to absorb all these people.
Just tell us what they have created commensurate with their 10 months or 11 months in government. They should tell us.
Okay.
But somehow we have seen the worsening of the situation. The worsening of the situation. Look,
What's the way forward?
the way
on
forward,
recruitment, for
the way
example?
forward is to say that 800,000 jobs they're talking will not suffice. It will not. And then, but is that a negative thing? It's
go
a
ahead.
positive thing. I'm saying that it won't suffice. In other words, do more. You understand? He's still back in campaign mode, Fred. You understand? So the point is that government must meet this youth bulge that is driving our country's desire for employment. They promised, they created this impression for people. They gave the expectations that they will create jobs, 24-hour economy, no show so far. In fact, was it 20,000 El-Wak? So if you take 20,000 typically, and then they say that the 24-hour economy was going to do 133. So it means that when out of that 20,000, the clearance that is given, you can clearly get 9,000 there, right? There's a third, well, let's just say 4,000. So you can get 12,000 people. So 8,000 people is, okay, you wait, we are going to morph you into maybe the police recruitment or something. You find a way to do it, but that's what they promised us. We haven't seen it. So why can they not do 133 with the military? If they said that was something, well, they will do it. They haven't done it. So young people in this country are struggling. They are struggling. And what I want to plead with Fred, and Fred, you've spoken well on this matter. You haven't been exceedingly political about it. But you see, what I would say is that your NDC guys, don't be defending the government against the interests of the people, because what the pain that the people are in, I'm advising you beforehand. You see, Salom, I have been engaging. No, I have been engaging young people. And just, I came back to Accra just, yesterday dawn. Yeah? It's difficult. Okay? So when we are talking about numbers and Dr. Teo and is looking at laptop and all of that, it is on the ground that you will see that the thing is not moving. It's hard. Okay? So we have a serious job situation. The 800,000, do something about it. Even that is over 3 years or something. So do something. And the next thing is that we should find a way to memorialize these young people as a way of saying that this will not happen again. Okay? Beyond the regime that they will recruit, replacement from their family, that's good. I think I commend that thinking. But beyond that, let's memorialize them. If we, by what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had done with digitalization, the NDC still can't see it. In order to use a digital process all through to the point they have to meet people. So the point is that let's memorialize these people, okay, as a basis to point to the NDC and don't do this manual thing again.
Great.
And I'm going to make the last point. The final point I would want to say is serious investigation. In fact, you're asking General, my very, very good friend and father, it's something that we must ensure that it happens. The investigation must be done for two things. One, for purposes of advising us the right way forward, and two, to punish. Because especially where the option existed, where they can put them in service badges, and somebody said, no, let's just bring all of them together. That's very negligent. So individuals, let this research, investigation
so there should be accountability.
and then ensure that.
Great.
But I want to ask General one question. In 1974, or even before then, 84, sorry, before then, has the payment of enlistment forms been part of their recruitment?
All right,
Because
General.
that for me,
Yes.
that for
General.
me, yes, that for me is an
yes.
extortion, it's
General,
an abuse that must not be
yeah.
allowed to continue.
Yes, there's a question to you. Did you hear that?
The question about
The fact that now they
recruitment.
pay for the forms before recruitment, the forms to fill before they recruit. Yes. The question is that was that so in the past? In the past, before you joined, did you have to pay for the forms to fill, etc., or is this a new phenomenon?
In fact, this has been a bordering issue when I was in service or working for the previous government. And I can emphatically tell you that my personal opinion is what I am expressing publicly. We did not, or in the old days, nobody paid anything for recruitment in terms of buying a form or even going to do a medical examination. The poor funding of the security services, and especially the armed forces, is what culminated into some of these things of charging these fees under the very eyes of government and so forth. And I don't know where this was even ever expressed as a policy statement or regulation to even govern the amount of money that you should even collect by way of a digital application. So this, I would just frankly say that the administration of the armed forces itself, not only the armed forces, all institutions of government with very, very little, budgetary allocations, and the government pays what they can pay, and then you also pay out what you can also do. So the answer is just very simple. It wasn't used to be the case. And then why take, like the other panel member was talking, you are going to take only 4,000 and you sell application of 60,000? We can't debate this. It's part of the things that we should make policies and directives work.
Very well.
We are in a constitutional rule, and there are processes, procedures, which you must all adopt. So if somebody is found foul of the particular incident, he is taken through proper procedures of arriving at a solution or a decision.
Very well. Thank you.
Look at the number of people. I said in the previous incident, it was the same. But for the past 8 years, this incident with similar crowd, maybe nothing happened. That's why it was overlooked. The disaster at, stadium disaster, the match between Kotoko and the House of Oak, and police method of quelling the destruction of tables, done very poorly, and people died. What happened? There was a commission of inquiry. Some policemen were charged to court, and the court adjudicated and even set them free. Not that they set them free, because it's not all negligence that people must
Very
be
well.
punished for. But at least they went through,
the process, and the process
Yes.
discharged them or acquitted
And
them.
any unlawful death
Yes.
happening anywhere,
Must be investigated
the
and
government
punished.
has a mandate to institute a coroner's inquiry. Yes.
Very
and
well.
this is the law.
That is so.
People have died.
Yes, very well.
Institutional investigation must go on for them to know what went wrong with their own methods of what they did.
Very well.
The government inquiry will come to give the overall broad directives to all these institutions.
Very well. Thank you.
We are normally discussing more problems than even giving solutions to the problems that have come. And we
Thank
all
you.
keep shouting about the problem. What is the solution?
Very well.
And I'm sure that's why you've called this discussion. So anybody contributing to this debate or this discussion, it's my view that not only expressing what the institution has done wrong, but that one we all know it was wrong for them to have done blah, blah, blah. The question was, and so what? And so in future, we should do this, blah, 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 blah.
Very well.
So that is my contribution.
We really appreciate it.
to
Thanks
this,
so much.
yes.
Thank you so much,
Right.
Brigadier General Ofe Saki. He's a retired General of the Army of Ghana. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Thanks so much to my other guests, Richard, Fred, and Theo. My name is Solomon. Thanks so much for doing the listening and the viewing. Catch you same time next week.